Welcome back to Talking Bullish, the new Bradford Bulls fan podcast. We're your hosts, Alan Raisin
and Laura Micklefield. So this week we look back at a Terri-bull performance at Barrow. Look forward to a hopefully much better performance at Hunslet, and look at the latest Bradford Bulls news from this week.
It's another week of Talking Bullish. Laura and I are here.
Hi.
Talking about all the Bulls news and summing up the match as you're no doubt used to by now.
Yeah, so starting with the match on Sunday. Thoughts, Alan?
Well, yeah, it was quite exciting being able to watch it on that stream. I know I saw in the comments lots of people had problems connecting to the stream, but I enjoyed being able to watch it from afar.
We seemed to have no trouble. It was fine. So I don't know why. I didn't see anyone had trouble, to be fair. But we got straight on and managed to watch it through the telly as well, which was a nice change. It's a shame that more clubs don't have the facility to do that. I didn't think that we were allowed because of like the streaming rights and stuff. But obviously Barrow have got some sort of agreement. So it would be nice if we got more of that through the championship, I think.
Yeah, and it wasn't too expensive either. I enjoyed that anyway. So getting into the game then, started really brightly, didn't we? My optimism was piqued straight away as Ockenbaugh got over the try line nice and early.
Yeah, it seemed to be off to a good start there. I think it was pretty quick, I think, into it. I was the same, feeling optimistic at this point, but... soon to be disappointed again, unfortunately. A good play from Barrow, to be fair, it was a really good try as well. They were really keeping the ball alive and flinging it all over the place, but there were probably no defending that one, to be fair. It's one of those where if you keep flinging it about, you're gonna get over the line. So they levelled it up to be 6-6.
Yeah, and in fact, Brian Noble said that the first half from there was pretty poor defensively. Barrow had loads of the momentum, well, they said until like the 50th minute, so like well past half time. But there was lots of Barrow pressure basically, and they scored again.
It was a hurl knock-on, I think, that gave lots of Barrow possession basically from there. We did seem to be good defensively at the start of it, but then they just got through again, probably quite a soft try again. And we did get a good field position after a failed 40-20, but again, we just didn't capitalise on it. And it was 12-6 at half-time. I mean, my thoughts on the half, I mean, if I'm honest, I think it was the most disappointed I've been all season with how we kind of went into that match. It's one of those again where I had the feeling that it was going to go the way it went, but it was one of those where you kind of think we've got a really good opportunity here. Obviously, Toulouse had been beaten by Widnes, which I know other matches are out of control, but it's one of those things where it should have been more motivation to think, well, if we win this, we go joint top. We've got a good chance to post some points, obviously, hopefully this week. And you just think we could have been in a much like firmer kind of position that makes you feel like, oh, we're on an upward trajectory here. But I felt like it was just the total opposite. There was like 7 errors from Bradford. I know Barrow made errors as well, don't get me wrong, but obviously they capitalised more. We're 12-6 up at half time. Yeah. We were giving away 6 agains. It was just, I thought 12-6 flattered Bradford at half time, to be fair. With how we were playing, I felt like that they would have been further ahead. We seem to have chances again, but like I said in previous weeks, I know usually Brian Noble seems to disagree on his post-match comments, but we just seemed lost on the line. The style of rugby went back to the very one-up, like not spreading the ball. It was just kind of a pass from dummy half, run up the middle, get tackled, and it just went on for that for 5 sets and 5 tackles, and that's even if we could last that long. We didn't seem to finish sets either, which was frustrating. But anyway, that were my thoughts at half-time. Probably pretty negative, but it was. I'd say it was probably the most disappointed I've been all season so far.
Yeah, and then it didn't really improve much straight after half-time, did it, with another score from Barrow?
Yeah, this one were, I suppose, controversial looking back on it. I did think that it was Ock losing the ball from a Barrow kick and then they scored. But apparently on the social media and comments since, I think the comment on the stream was saying that even Barrow fans were thinking that it was Barrow that actually knocked it forward and then recollected and then scored. But obviously, it's like we've said week on week, there's no replays, there's no chance to check for a video referee to see what happened. But obviously, again, with the streaming service, they did have a chance to show you a little replay of it. And I know the commentators on there were thinking that Barrow did get away with that one. So obviously that made it 18-6, which made it seem even more out of reach. But to be fair, even with if it were a knock-on or not, at that point, Bradford probably deserved to be 18-6 down, or even if not more at that point with the way that they've been playing. It'd been a consistent, I think, 60 minutes of poor play from Bradford at that point.
So, feeling a bit down in the dumps at that point. But, then we started to pick it up again.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, I think the game kind of switched momentum at the point where Hooley came on, and I felt like we sped up. We started playing a bit more expansive, started playing quicker, and you could see from that change in play that the momentum did switch the other way again. I think this patch of 10 minutes was the best that we played during the match. The first was Tom cutting through a gap and scoring, and then Lily kicking it. So we were at 18-12 at that point.
Yeah, and then a lovely ball from Keys, and then Ronan Michael cuts through to make it 18-all.
Yeah, got the kick there as well. So 18-18 at that point, thinking, we're getting back into this. I thought, look, we've switched it around, obviously. The blip after half-time, but could have been the controversial knock-on sort of thing. But I thought maybe they took on board what it is. We're getting ahead now. We obviously drew it back to level. And then again, we did lovely play with ball spread wide for Wacker to score. And that, again, did a kick. The kick was missed on that, so it was 18-22. But at that point, I did think we're playing better. We're not doing that one-up rugby. We're passing the ball. As you can see, when we pass the ball, we score points. Yeah. 18-22, and then just absolute coach killer. Then so 5 minutes away from full time, 6 again on the 5th tackle, which coach killer, but absolutely criminal. Just why? I think we were just his own worst enemy at that point. And obviously, you're going to have 2 consecutive sets on your line when we weren't defending well anyway. It was inevitable, and as soon as that 6 again was given, I already knew what the result was going to be. Obviously, Barrow score straight under the post.
Sticks,
yeah, easily converted. So full time 24-22.
Yeah. So scoring with 3 minutes to go. So really no time, especially for a Bradford squad not really firing on all cylinders to. No time to come back from that.
Yeah, it's one of those where in other matches where we've kind of seen that resilience a bit, that you'd think, maybe we could pinch this and come back in the last minute and such. I know we've done it in the past and just kind of got away with things, but I think this is why I felt that this was the most disappointing loss, because it was. I never thought that there was that kind of. We were going to win it, even when we were kind of getting back into it and getting level again and then getting ahead. That we still weren't playing well. It's as if we'd have played well and not made the errors and not given away the penalties, it'd have been a totally different match. And I mean, no disrespect to Barrow. I mean, they capitalised on everything they did, and they deserved the win in the end. I mean, in fairness, I think they deserved it by a wider margin than 2 points. I think they were the better team. Yeah. I do think that we were just below average with everything, and it's just frustrating, because you kind of think the way that everything's going and the way that people are talking, you feel like you should be building momentum, and I feel like we're kind of losing momentum a bit, and I think a lot of fans feel that frustration as well. Yeah,
and in the post-match, Brian No-ble had to stop short of blaming individuals. He said, a lot of the players on the team, were playing to a high level, but there was, he said there was like just a lack of respect to the game, and I got the impression that there saw just one or two players that he felt like had let the side down, and obviously he wasn't going to name and shame, but definitely room for well, I mean, it's been saying this every week, room for cleaning it up, and especially disappointing after last week where we only conceded 6 to concede 24. It's it's not what we're about, is it? So.
No, it's not good enough if they want to be like a certain standard, and it's one of those where you kind of think what are the excuses now? I think that's what everyone's kind of getting a little bit fed up of. It's kind of like you make a couple of mistakes and you lose, and you kind of think, we know what we need to improve on, and we will, but then we're not kind of seeing that improvement. A lot of the time we're fighting and being dogged to get away with it and to get the wins, but consistently, even like probably if you listen over the podcasts over the last few weeks, even when we've been positive about matches and stuff, it's very much like there's still a lot of errors, there's still a lot of penalties. It just seems scruffy. I suppose is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, and then 10 games to go. It says we've lost our wiggle room now, so it's like it's all on the line now. For how we want this season to end, really. So
yeah, it has to be improvement. I think that's the only thing, and obviously keep saying it, but it needs to be put into action. You see other teams such as like York, who started off quite poorly in the league, and then they've got into a momentum and they seem to have clicked, and they've jumped us in the table and stuff now. But it's deserved as that. They're getting things right, and we just don't seem to be. Don't get me wrong, like I'm speaking here like we're bottom at table or something. I know we're only third in the table. I think it's just there's always an expectation on Bradford, and sometimes maybe unfairly, and it's probably unfair on the players, but it's one of those where I feel like everyone around Bradford and everyone in the media and the club itself kind of big Bradford up to do well. So then when you don't, you feel let down. Whereas, let's say, I suppose really we should be thankful that we are third in the table and we are battling, obviously, and hopefully we'll be in playoff spots. But I think it's that because we've consistently been up there, you feel like you want improvement. And maybe we're just asking too much.
Well, it's difficult, as you say, because we were in a position where we're in second. We could have drawn level on points with Toulouse. We could even have overtaken Toulouse. We're given a good enough points difference, although that was unlikely. But yeah, I mean, we've been up there. Bradford are still a big club. No matter what the IMG situation is, and I can understand that people want Bradford to be competing at the top of the table and eventually being promoted. So yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I think it is, like I say, expectation, but at the same time, it is still positive. We're still in the mix. It's just, I think you just feel disappointed after this one performance because it did feel really flat. And I suppose because it's the same things that we're saying week on week that seem to be his own downfall. It's, I suppose, from a point of privilege, you could be at other end of the table fighting for not to get relegated. So I suppose we should be more positive. But just one of those, I think.
So on to the Bulls news then, and I guess quite topical then. So there's been an update from the CEO.
Yeah, I think the gist of it is they kind of think we're ready for Super League. I suppose it's just thinking what your thoughts on that are, Alan. I mean, my thoughts are... There's points where I read on social media a lot, why do Bradford just expect to be in Super League? You're not the big club you used to be. You've had loads of debt. You've done all this. Why should you be here? All that sort of stuff. You should earn it on the field. And I get there's a lot of negativity. As a Bradford fan, I kind of feel none of that was our fault as a fan. We've been through that turmoil as well. Nobody likes the club to go into administration or liquidation. It's at the minute, I feel sorry for Salford fans. It's not their fault the club's going how it's going. That's just one of those things. So one, I kind of think, give us a break. Fans are desperate for us to succeed and actually go to Super League at some point. So I do think it's a bit harsh is the criticism we get. I know obviously the stadium isn't great, but it's home and we love it. But as for, are we ready for Super League? My honest opinion would be on the field, no. But if you're going for, like, say, an expanded Super League where you're saying 14 teams, everyone's kind of saying who should go up and they don't think it should be Bradford. Well, if you look at the table as it stands, you would say if you expand to 14 and Salford did come down, which is obviously looking kind of inevitable at the minute, if you're going by on-field performance, it would be to lose York and Bradford. So I think that'd be fair, and that'd be fair enough. If we're not in the top 3 at the end of the season and it does go to a 14 Super League, do I think it's fair if we go up over somebody else? Not necessarily. I think there should be more weight on-field performance as what there currently is. But at the same time, I suppose if you're looking at what you bring otherwise, I can see from the perspective of Super League that would they want Bradford in there? Well, yeah, because we're consistently getting, obviously the biggest gates for home matches. We take the biggest away following in the Championship. So I can see as Super League teams, if they decide that Bradford do go up there, I can kind of understand why, because it's more income for them. So, is that the correct thing? Should it be based on performance? What do you think?
I don't honestly think that you could argue anything other than it should be based on performance. Surely that's, in sports, that's the only metric that counts. You have to be a winner to get promoted. There are obviously, as you say, there's lots of other factors involved. So having watched a little bit of Super League recently, obviously the level of play is higher, and that's because, clubs can afford to pay full-time wages. The stadiums do tend to be more up to date. I know that's not sort of the be-all and end-all, but I think Odsal does remain a challenge for Bradford's prospects. But it is home, as you say. That's where they've played for ages, and why not have it there? I guess just really my worry is that Odsal drags them down. Really, the quality of that, the lack of modern facilities that we've seen at many other clubs as we've been travelling around.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's. I get. I think the stadium does kind of hold us back, but at the same time, like you said, I think I'm a big believer in if you perform on the field, you get promoted, and if you don't, you get relegated. I think that's how it should be. Like you say, it is in most sports. So, I mean, on that premise, I suppose as long as it meets the minimum standards of Super League, which it does, you would be okay to do it. But I can see how a lot of clubs will think, well, how are you in Super League with this stadium? But at the same time, I mean, not to be mean to any other grounds, however, but I know there's like Castleford, for example. I know that they've done some improvements to their stadium at the minute, but their stadium's totally outdated as well, and right. I think there's these like toilets on a slant that everybody talks about, but it's not that's not the greatest stadium, but obviously I wouldn't see Super League without Castleford, but then again I suppose on field performance, again, if they didn't perform, maybe they shouldn't be in Super League. But it's one of those where that's why I'm not keen on the IMG thing. But then on the same premise, you can say, well, we do really well on IMG with kind of like social media interactions and like fan base. So you can, just scrap all that for me, to be fair, and just go back to promotion and relegation. But
but on that note, make sure that as listeners, you all tell a friend and make this podcast grow, and that will support the IMG points as well. Give Bradford an even healthier chance of getting up in Super League. Definitely some more mentions on social media. Okay, so we were mentioning the other week that there was a poll on X about the next year's away kit, and the results are in.
Yes, and the winner is The colour black.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was quite a clear winner as well by the looks of it. I think when I looked at the percentages, I can't quite remember what they were, but yeah, it was the clear front runner. I mean, I think my choice of navy was way down there, to be fair, but I think I was just thinking of a nostalgic kit, to be fair, rather than what I'd want. But yeah, I'm quite happy with black. I do like a black kit, to be fair, for an away kit. It's just, yeah, it'll be exciting to see what else comes of that. I know that I don't know if they mentioned that there were going to be more polls about what else will be kind of involved on the kit. Yeah, the style and such. So yeah, it'll be nice to think that fans have had some input. So hopefully the majority of fans will like it and maybe purchase it. So yeah, I'll be excited to see what that looks like.
And then some player news then. So was it just the other day that we found out that Doro is going to come back from Hold KR?
Yeah, as of today, is when we're recording it's Wednesday. We've got the news that Doro is back for 2 weeks, which is brilliant news. I think we have really been lacking in forward power at the minute. I do think that he will come back. He's a fan favourite anyway, but I think he will come back and make an impact. I think we're really lucky that obviously Hull KR aren't wanting to use him at the moment, because I do kind of feel a bit sorry for him, to be fair, because I feel like he should be getting a shot to play there, because when he has been playing, he's been playing brilliant for him. I think he got a player of the match for one of their matches that he did get game time for. But I'm not going to complain if they don't want to use him. I'm more than happy that he's coming back on loan to Bradford, as I think a lot of fans will be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he'll still have been training with the squad as well, so that's got to be a benefit to him, even if he's not getting the match minutes. But yeah, we'll gladly have him back for at least 2 weeks.
Hopefully see him in action on Friday. So in other news, we've had I think it was the Rugby League World Player of the Month?
Yeah, that went to Guy Armitage shortly after his hat-trick against Dewsbury.
Yeah, so that was good. And also, I think there was Guy and there was Mitch Suter as well that was involved in the team, the championship team as well of the month. So yeah, good to get a couple of Bradford players picked in there. Yeah, well deserved for Mitch as well. I think it's just, like I say, it's a shame he's picked up that injury, but hopefully he'll be back soon, fighting fit, and hopefully, speedy recovery to him.
Yeah, and then they were talking about another player who had gone to Batley.
Oh, so we had two players. Gill and Bailey Lou have been injured, and for their recovery for injury, they've sent them to Batley on loan for 2 weeks. Again, I think a lot of people have like, why are we doing this? Why are we not, if they're fit, can they not just play for us? But I get that you want, obviously, people to match fitness, and obviously we kept Hurrell for another 2 weeks. But looking at kind of how we performed at the weekend and how they performed, I think Gill got 2 tries for Batley. Maybe it would have been more beneficial to have him in our squad, but I suppose that's just the way things go. They felt like he needed, obviously, a couple of weeks to get back into our squad, but hopefully, yeah, those two will be back soon.
But the strange thing that came to my attention was that apparently Batley have a bye week this week, so they've got a week off. So No-ble's trying to get them back into the Bradford squad earlier. So I don't really understand why they were offered for a 2-week period. So that does seem a bit strange.
Yeah. That is strange. Maybe it was to do with the fact that we got Hurrell for 2 weeks. So because obviously both Gill and Lou do play centre where Hurrell's playing, but at the same time, that does seem really bizarre if they've not got, if they wanted him to kind of get game fit to not actually have a game. So maybe it wasn't thought of before that happened. But yeah, bizarre.
Well, it's like maybe 2 weeks the minimum amount of loan you can have. I don't know, a bit strange.
Maybe, yeah. I've only ever seen 2 weeks or above, so it might just be ruling that you can only do 2 week loan. So maybe, yeah, that might be the reason for it.
But yeah, very odd in any case.
Yeah, so looking forward now to the match on Friday. So it's another Friday night under the lights. So it still might be quite light anyway, but I think we're getting some pyrotechnics again and a few fireworks and a DJ, and yeah, the drinks offers on. So it's they're trying to make it again a feel good thing. It's in for a £10 before 7 p.m. I think, and under 18s go free as well. So yeah, really trying to get the atmosphere going. Obviously, after falling flat on Sunday, I think I'm not sure what the gate will be like, but I'm hoping for quite a few to go. I know obviously with being a season ticket holder, I'll definitely be there, but I know as well. I've got a neighbour who's a Hunslet fan, and he said that they're bringing a coach across, so that should hopefully mean a few away supporters as well. So hoping for a good atmosphere.
Yeah, good. And the last Friday night game was well attended as well. So, yeah, hopefully it will be same again this week. But obviously, Hunslet being rooted to the bottom of the championship table, only 2 wins under their belt. It's going to be a tough game for them.
Yeah, I think it would be. I'm hoping, again, hope is the word, that we actually kind of right some wrongs this week and prove that we can kind of play some good rugby and get a few points under his belt. It's a really good opportunity to, no disrespect to Hunslet, but it is an opportunity to obviously build some good point score for us.
Yeah, surely if there's any week we can do it, this would be the week.
This would be the week, yeah. I know the teams have done such, but then again, taking nothing away from Hunslet, like they have the beaten Batley, who we've had some tough battles against, and they've beaten Sheffield as well. So on the day they can do the right thing, and obviously they'll want to come to Bradford thinking, actually, you've not been playing that well, we can beat you. So if they're disrespected, and there is a chance that Bradford could go in disrespecting them, we could be in for a nasty shock, and it could be another banana skin. But I'm really hoping that we go in with the right attitude and really kind of get in a flow of things, play some good rugby, and then if we really kind of put us foot on the gas, we can, like I say, we could post some points this Friday. But taking nothing for granted, and like I say, I know last time I think when we played them, I know we did play in the second half and got quite a few points, but in the first half they really gave us a good game, and I think they'll be out to do the same thing. We've got the other unfortunate thing like we did last week, where not last week, sorry, but the week before against Batley, that they've just lost their head coach again. So we're getting a team that's obviously just lost their coach. So again, that's always another thing to fire up a team. So if there was any week we didn't want them, it's probably this week. But on the same sense, like I'm really hoping there's some kind of inspirational speech in the dressing room this week from Brian No-ble and his team, that we do need to show what we are capable of, because it's just, I don't think we can have any excuses if we don't win on Friday.
Yeah, so have you got a score prediction for us?
Oh, well, yeah, in the hopes. I'd hope we were up there near, 40s, 50s. And hope that we've got good defence. So I'd say if we're on it, and obviously judging, no disrespect to them, but judging by how many points they've been letting in, I'd say maybe 42-6, something like that. But watch me eat my words here and be back, and then it'll be something either really close or we'll lose. So this is the point. I don't like to be positive, but I really hope that, I do hope that we do perform this week. But again, like I say, no disrespect to Hunslet, it's just the newly promoted. They've obviously not had the budget other teams have had. They have struggled this season. It's the only reason I kind of say that, not for any other reason. But good. I don't think they'll come and roll over. Definitely not. So we'll have to be on it if we do want a score like that.
Well, I have to say, I think you were pretty on top of your predictions last weekend, because I think you predicted a narrow loss for the Bulls, and that's indeed what we got.
So fingers crossed I'm right this time then, when I'm being more positive.
Yeah. Great. So looking at the other matchups, so on Saturday, Broncos play host to the Panthers, and Doncaster away at Toulouse. On Sunday, we've got Featherstone are home to Barrow, Oldham playing the Widnes Vikings, and then Sheffield play host to York.
Right, yeah, good. I think some good matches. Again, quite a few I think are hopefully, I think predictable, but I don't think it works in our favour with the other matches this week. I do think even if we do get a big win, I think we'll be staying third, but that's just my prediction.
Okay. Right, so now we move on to bull or no-bull, where I have prepared, loosely, a few facts for you, Laura, to pick out the bull from the no-bull. So this week, they're all centred around RFL Player of the Month, Guy Armitage.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm going to give you a freebie this week. Wikipedia says he is 6'5". There we go. Do you believe that?
I do actually believe that one, to be fair.
Okay, great.
See if he is 5 inch taller than Hurl, though. I'm going to check.
First up, then we have, in Guy Armitage's professional rugby career, he's played both union and league. That's the first one. The second one was that he was in the London Broncos £1 million game winning squad in 23. The third fact is that he was born in London.
Right. Okay. So they're all interesting because I feel like they could all be no-ble. But no. So the first one, you said that he's played league and union. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't necessarily know, but I would think I'd lean on the side of that being true with the fact that I know he's from down south where it is primarily union. So I would think that one is no-ble. The last statement, I think he, obviously, being a northerner, down south is just London to me, innit? so I'd probably go for no-ble with that one. But that would obviously mean that the bull is that he was part of the London Broncos squad in 2023, because I think in 2023 he was playing for Toulouse. So I'm going to go for that statement as the bull statement.
And you are correct, absolutely. He was in fact part of Toulouse Olympics' losing team in the £1 million game in the 2023 season.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, I got one right eventually.
Yay.
See, and it's on one that I didn't actually think I would. I didn't know that I knew that much about Guy Armitage, to be fair. But yeah, glad to actually get one right eventually.
Great, so that brings us to the end of another episode.
Yeah, remember you can follow us on X, on Instagram, on Blue Sky. Got a Facebook page. And you'll be able to listen to the podcast on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. And hopefully this week it will be on YouTube as well. So look out for that. Yeah, thanks again for listening. And like I say, as Alan said, spread the word. The more listens we get, the more promotion it is for Adford Bulls. And yeah, the more we get to witter on and hopefully get some interaction from other fans and see what their opinions are. Because at the end of the day, we are just two fans. And it'd be interesting to know what people think. And yeah, if there's any content they'd like us to cover. So yeah, please get in touch. And yeah, thanks again. And we'll see you next week.
And enjoy the game on Friday. See you next week.